episode's probably not going to be terribly long. This is my third, and I having to restart each time because delay for chat just for whatever reason just gets longer and longer as the stream goes on. I really have no idea why that is. I'll have to Google it and do some research. Anyways, DAC Attack again. Thank you for the host. Everybody else for chatting and talking, and people have questions on why I do things the way I do. Awesome. Just built this a few episodes ago. We increased our science. We basically doubled our science. I've been working for a long time towards that with Outpost and so forth. Space Science Station. Had to have a satellite station, and the ramp up to satellite station was just huge. There's just so many things that go into a satellite. Some of them I had, like blue circuits, LDS, low density structures, but needed I tripled low density structures to support that, and new space science build. Well, it's definitely a learning curve. I mean, it's fun, and you'll pick it up. It's this game's good for that for sure. I mean, you can just look at the size of my OCD empire. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I mean, I could show you some of my early builds, man. Shoot. Save this and they're just like everybody else's. Every once in a while, I load them up just because they're fun. Yeah, like here's one of my first bases. Spaghetti. Try to do everything on there, few belts as possible. I didn't have lasers. I don't have just all sorts of things like my roboports. I think I don't know. Everything's basic like. Yeah, and this was like my fifth one. It's getting better, but it's just don't have radars, don't have stuff. I was afraid of the biters. I didn't, it's like just a different mentality when playing the game. I don't recall. Look at this. It's just so afraid of everything. Like, what I'm doing right now would have totally freaked me out when I built this. Like, look at this little gun turret outpost with robo ports coming here to supply bullets and stuff. I mean, it's just like so backward thinking. Attacked over there. I don't even know if this base has lasers yet. I don't think so. Just turrets. Like, I think this is the base I learned how to put fuel in a car. I don't think I even knew how before this base. It's like, how do you get fuel into a vehicle? I Googled it and searched. And I'm like, how do you get Google? It's like, you just put it in there. But I couldn't figure out how to do it for the longest time. Like, I tried to use inserters to get it in and stuff like that. I was just like, how do you do it? It didn't make any sense to me. So I keep this around for old time's sake. That's right. Like, there's another one that's really fun. Find it. I don't know if I have it in here anywhere. No, apparently not, but there's one that I completely got overrun by biters. It was a lot of fun to try to go back and try to save that map once you knew what you're doing. Into my Megabase, like 400. You can see it right here, 395. Basically started this map. Actually, I'm not sure. I'd have to pull up my first save file. That I'm not sure, because I don't play through the Steam portal anymore, so I can't look at Steam to see if that, because Steam keeps track of that. I download the game now. I've got like 5 different installs. Let's see here. I forget what I was looking for now. Yep. Alright. Builds up. I mean, I've probably been playing this game about a year now. Oh, I know what I was going to do. When did I start that map, you were asking me? first save. What happened to my first saves? I don't delete them. They might be in my 15 folder. Let me look back there. Which would have been, where is version 15 store stuff? Hey Pinky, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I hope you're liking what you're seeing. Where is 15 store stuff? I forget. Or where does Steam store stuff? Where does Steam? It's in user data somewhere. App data. Factorio saves. There it is. Yeah, here's all my old saves. So I first started that map on the 2nd of January. So my Megabase I started on the 2nd of January of this year. It's good to have friends. It'd be fun to have a regular partner for a Megabase size operation. What are we doing on solar? Look at that. Complete enough for a huge build of solar, but let's take that up to my solar build. No, totally understand. Well, I mean, there was a time when I was accepting people to play on this, but I don't anymore. I mean, there was just so many times people would be like, no, you should do unloading stations this way and unloading stations that way. That's why this is all a mess. Like, you know, people, literally, it's 3 different ways. It's just, people just had to do it differently and come over and start tearing it apart because they wanted to do it their way. I'm like, well, I get it, it's multiplayer, but man, it was so frustrating to see people tear it apart and then let them do it, you know, like, because it's fun. I mean, you learn something if you don't learn anything if you don't let people do stuff, but well, once you figure out how things, you know, work for you, like one of the earliest things I was always trying to do is try to do balanced unloading. So the train, like here, this train, it's a perfect example. It's 3 empty cars and 1 car's got 2K still in it. It's like, so for me, it's kind of frustrating. I actually came across a pretty good system. Kind of show it off. Actually, there's 2 ways to do it. One is to use a mechanical balancer instead of circuit balancers. This is what I call a mechanical 4-lane balancer. Might not make a whole lot of sense to you, but so you can kind of see like this right lane of this belt is being constantly pulled from and not this one at all. But check this out. If you look at the top side of the balancer, every lane is being pulled from evenly. It's a mechanical balancer. So every chest, or at least every side of each of the unloading parts, are being pulled from evenly. This one's got like 20 things in it compared to the 2,000. Of course, in this case, it would be 400 since that's all a train could hold of rocket control units. But kind of get the point. Like, it's very close to even. Well, for you, if you're just running your first train, that does, you're just like, how do I even unload? I mean, pretty much, maybe not that basic, but like, do I use how many trains, how many cars? Do I use double-sided trains like I use, or do you use a single-sided train? In fact, when I first started making trains, double-sided trains were like so confusing. Like, I couldn't get them to work. Like, it seemed like, and it's just simply because I didn't understand signals. Yeah, your first instinct is to unload straight onto a belt, but the wise thing is unload into chests and then unload the belt. Hey, Pinky, go easy on the man. Right, and then vice versa, when you're loading up, load into chests, and then when the train pulls in, pull from the chest into the train, because inserters work best going from container to container. Good to see my space science is finally catching up in my main base. This is finally showing my normal 20k-ish. Beginning tonight it was like at 0, so good to see that. Because I'm running at 3.3 or 3,300 science packs a minute. I basically doubled my science packs per minute this week, and it's really putting a crunch on things. They give you space science. That's how you get your space science packs. You get 1,000 per rocket you launch. So if you look at how many rockets I've launched, 14,000, almost 15,000, I've gotten 150,000 space science. Gosh, it seems like I should have more than that. Maybe it's 2,000 per launch. I never forget. So, blacklisting, substation, roboport, and radar. What? Oh, I whitelisted. I took out the exact wrong things. Silly thing. That's alright. Just rip up the whole thing, I guess. Yes, isn't it? That's why I keep playing it. It's just fun. All these trains coming in, doing stuff. You can just look at these, any individual ones. Going busy, busy, busy. This is steel. Taking iron plate trains, and then outputting steel. I see most players use a 242. Those that really want to challenge themselves go like 363 or something like that. And all that means is less trains moving around, but bigger, longer ones, so you have to plan for that. Because obviously a 363 can carry 150% of a 242. To go into chess, they're loading up on the one and outputting in the other. And then bots pick them up and take them out to be loaded onto trains. And that's one version of my steel. I did a new one just this last week where I'm bringing in iron ore that then is being processed into iron plate, which then goes to the steel, is processed into steel, and then put back on the train. I think I wish I would have gone this route initially. There's just, it literally takes 5 trains to fill up one steel. So if you just, I think I just have a lot of trains kind of running around like back and forth between the iron mill and the steel mill, when I could have just brought in iron ore directly. So I was talking about how to have this dummy station that is never accessible. So you kind of saw this train just run in there. This train's waiting. It wants to go. Like if I don't know if I can't quite hover in it, but it wants to go here, but it can't. It's the only accessible station, so it wants to go there. But I have this light permanently set to red. So these are red and it just can't get there. So it's waiting, quote, for this to open up, but this one just opened up. So now it's going to go, instead it's going to go to there. It's a cool system I kind of recently came up with. It's much simpler. This is kind of the route I was initially going, but it turns out I didn't figure this extra part out. It was so simple once I came up with it. It's because once you disable all these, then if there wasn't this dummy one, the trains would get confused and try to leave and go back to their initial station, or a previous station, or next station, or whatever. But if you have this dummy one, they just sit there and wait. And but likewise, these pickup stations, they're just waiting to have the supplies, and as soon as they do, they light up, and in comes the train to pick up the supplies. It's such a groovy system. I like it. Where my old version works off of turning the light from green to red, and instead of disabling the station, which you can't see the light when you're zoomed out, but when you do the enable disable station, you can see the status of the station when you're zoomed out. So all my new builds, I'm doing this way. I mean, I like the lighted version. I think it's cool looking. It's just you can't see it from the map. Like this is controls. These lights are controlled by the type of material. Like this is an iron loading station. This is a copper loading station, and so these enable disable based on the copper and iron trains in the system. That's why these have different stackers. The stackers take the red signals and convert it to a copper plate in this circumstance, because these are copper plate trains. Likewise here, that signal's turned into iron plate. And then these circuits let trains in and out based on that. Well, Dak, I imagine so. Circuits and all that are way, way beyond you right now. At least the way I operate. Like, I mean, I'm sure this little busy station is probably, you can see what it's doing, but it's like way beyond where you're at. But I upload these videos to YouTube, so you know, if you're on my channel on Twitch, you can just scroll down, click on the YouTube button, subscribe on my YouTube channel. And unfortunately, I don't start all the way back from when I started this base. I just started streaming about a month and a half ago, so you don't get to see it from the very first. It's just I didn't really get the idea to start streaming it until not about 2 months ago. But the concept's the same as your early base. I mean, this is green circuits, bring in iron plate and copper plate and make circuits out of it. And this is just, I mean, as fun as this look is, you know, it's like I got 6 of them up here and 4 more down here somewhere, way down here, all doing the same thing. So, yeah, similar as red circuits, a little more complicated because you have plastic, copper, and then green circuits flowing into them. I like this track. This is fun. Blue circuits has a liquid. So this train just drops off sulfuric acid. You guys are waiting on green chips? Guess they're coming. Problem with blue circuits, it's literally like 10 green circuit trains for every one blue circuit train. You know, not including productivity modules, but that's the ratio. It's 10 to 1. Actually, it's not the same. It's 5 to 1. I always forget that blue circuits only stacks to 100. But it takes 20 green circuits to make one blue chip. Thanks, guys, for the subscribes on YouTube. So, got any questions for me? So when you go to do rockets, you just do one of them. And then eventually you expand to 2, and then to 4, 8. Just keep going. But rockets is way off for you guys if you're just doing trains for the first time. Yeah, I need to do more on my iron station in the south now too. It's backed up. Looking pretty is a tough job. It's a good gig to have. Girls can totally do this game. You should check into Catherine of Sky videos. You know, she's a lady that loves to play Factorio. Refresh my sub announcement. It is. Oh, it is. I don't know how to change that. Go to my widgets maybe. Nope. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. That's a good question. I bet you I can figure it out though. It is your box. There we go. Thanks for the heads up on that. So it's gone now, right? your mind on the end. Oh, I completely forgot what we were doing here. It's all working. Wonder why. I think it's necessary. Well, I suppose we can go set up some room out of space. And let's see. If I start 3 trains, I don't know. I got fuel for that many trains. So I can just send 1 per. Alright, let's start this new iron outpost up. And I need to go to Northwest 3 East. So if I switch a couple of those trains to use my new station up here. Need more signals in this part though. I hope I have enough track for this. I didn't realize. Kind of forgot. Maybe I'll do this baby up there. You too, Pinky. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the subscribes. on YouTube. The follows here, and you can with a mod. So the one I'm using is called Equipment Hotkeys. It allows, when you get out of a vehicle, it enables. When you get in, it disables. Out, in. But then it's also F2, and I think you can set that key. No, you can't set the key, but it is F2. Of course, it's super helpful. Like when you get in your train and it disables them, and then you're driving by someplace that's got miners that need to be picked up. They don't all jump out of your inventory. Of course, if you forget to disable them while you're in your train, because you enable them when you're in your train, well, then that's nothing you can do about that. Try not to get this. Kind of. Evenings, starting around what? I mean, it's not a set schedule, but it's definitely late evenings on almost every day. Alright, this needs a station name, and I believe it's Iron Ore 100. It is. Northwest 3, 3. North. Yeah, everyone's made just like you make inserters. I mean, I'm not making them by hand. That would be horrible. Yep, I got a big old assembly line for that. Right here. So it's really a big old assembly line. There's a train coming in. Wood or anything? Yeah, let's grab some wood. A little faster. Shoot. That's too many. There are 4 trains too many here. Oh. I need to set some signals in here. Otherwise, its train waits way over there. I could be waiting in here. Oh, they run out. Maybe this one here might not run out at 36 million, which is really like 360 million. I forgot I need to turn that on. Dink. Good thing I did that before a train got stuck. Cool. Got one station ready to load. So I redirected a couple of my green circuit trains to go up there. Which might have made my main build start to increase. I think it's kind of a long way to go for steel. I think green circuits is okay. I'm not sure, honestly. I mean, like per minute or something. This is honestly the first time I'm going to go with a straight 4x build. I've been going like 6, like this is my copper build, 6 build. I mean, it's pretty amazing how well these do. But I don't know they're how quick or how much or what I want to try to figure out is kind of like the ratio of, of trains, and obviously that changes as iron, as the ore gets further and further away from the smelter. But I like this kind of smaller footprint. I could put that more places than a big 8. An 8 is hard to get the supplies in evenly. I think this method's the best, where it comes in and then sort of splits 2 different ways. That way a train can be going down either lane. definitely fun looking. Man, the trains are so active since I doubled my science. They used to all sit in stackers. Thank you. I like this design. This wasn't my initial design. I originally was doing kind of a belt-based, similar to this. And somebody came on pretty much near the end of when I stopped multiplayer doing the map, and showed me the outpost that I'm using now. I mean, he first built similar to this. I think it was a little narrower, but I've basically been duplicating that initial design ever since. Just modifying it for, 3 input trains, input liquids, 2 input no liquid. My latest plastic is pretty neat. My first attempt at plastic was horrible in this method, which was this. I mean, the design's the same, but I built this huge refinery to sort of supply the petroleum for this, and actually find just bringing in petroleum gas on either end, not trying to pipe it in, not trying to anything, just bring a train, so much more efficient. But then I came up with my own kind of design for petroleum. Refine it, crack it, fill it, and then duplicate it. So it's just bringing crude oil and out comes petroleum gas. Did something similar for sulfuric acid. Bring in crude oil, or actually no, bring in petroleum gas and outflows sulfuric acid. Plus a little bit of iron, petroleum gas, sulfuric acid. I made new petroleum down here. It's a duplicate of my petroleum build. Fun one was satellites. 6 input trains, 1 output train. Yeah, batteries are hungry for sulfuric acid. I tried to use sulfuric acid from my initial build that I'm doing for like uranium and stuff. Oops, is this stuck here? Trains are stuck. Trying to go there, and you're trying to go there, and you're trying to go. Where are you trying to go? You're just trying to fill up. Why don't you have sulfuric acid? Well, it's, assume that's this one, sulfuric acid too. Yeah, I'll send it way down there. That's a freaking long way to go for blue chip sulfuric acid. For some reason, my sulfuric acid is kind of gone dry. Or was having trouble loading 4 cars. I'll just send it to my new sulfuric acid. Kind of a ways to go for that. I might dupe this station up here for blue chips. So how are you doing on sulfuric acid up here? You're alright. Fortunately, blue chips don't use much sulfuric acid. You know, like 5. So, how is this doing? 26,000 average. Oh, that's all in station 3 and 1. Hey Damio, or WO, thanks for this follow. There might be a little delay in chatting once again. People need me to restart the stream for that, let me know. Yeah, 4 trains a little much for that outpost. Yeah, I agree. But I just built this thing, so I wasn't actually even going to do or input tonight. But since people were wanting to talk and stuff, I decided I'd stay up. But I'm not going to stay up very much longer. Because, yeah, this 3 trains, 4 trains to this. So it's not fast enough. Even with 400 bots. I should tap these guys. But I wanted to get this thing because the track goes right over it. Out of the way. Which will take a while, of course. Alright, this should be disabled. We're not reading stop train, are we? Whoops. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing, let's see, T 52,000 divided by 3. Technically, if I was running at 60 UPS, I would be getting one every 20 minutes or so. $52,000. Though you probably asked that just before I looked. I mean, you can literally, even at my slow UPS speed, see this thing move. It's ticking up. Well, taking 4 trains out of this loading has helped. Well, not a ton yet, but there's nobody packed up there. Well, my initial base setup is this. And this is 1.8 per minute. And this is just sort of extension, like red and green science, gray science was here, military science, whatever it still technically is. I don't use it anymore though. You know, and purple and yellow, and but now I do all that with Outposts. And then my latest science lab is this, and this is 1.4. Yeah, you can do that. I believe it's F4, show FPS, as an under the always tab, show FPS. So anyway, there's F5, F6, F7, oops, So I think, F5, F6, F7, and each of those relates to each of those different tabs under F4. So there's always basic, detailed, and full. So F5 is basic, F6 is detailed, F7 is everything. So that new station we put in, it's just, I'm going to open up these two and take two trains out. Well, one to each of those. Darn it, that's backed up again. Sorry I'm not talking so much. I'm kind of tired. Alrighty. Now I can just get one of these trains. You guys coming from? Why are you coming that way? Oh, no, you got loaded with iron going to steel. Got it. Well, I wonder if I can make you. Probably could. Where's he going? Straight, good. Well, here's my build for making stuff. Got a couple of them, like inserters, but this is kind of, chests and different chests and tanks and engines for trains, train cars. Don't use these anymore. But yes. Nuclear power. The different parts for nuclear power. Pumps. Pump jacks. Beacons. Requires cable. Use that cable to also make circuits, combinators, repair kits, chem plants, refineries, rocket silos, bringing some stuff via bots, artillery train wagons, walls, gates, so that output for what? Yes, all these, they go to passive provider chests, and so as things are requested, the bots come in and pick them up. But I have all sorts of things. Labs, bridge track, artillery cannons, radar, all sorts of stuff. Not using this recycle mod anymore, but I still have the stuff technically being made, though nothing's being made because I don't consume it anymore. This recycle mod would recycle pollution. And that's what these filters were, like you might see in a car, oil filter. All right, so these I can move. Let's get a traffic jam there because I was just sitting there. That's a lot of crude oil just sitting there. So I hope you guys saw what you wanted to see when I displayed that. I knew that thing might hit my train. Or my train might hit it, I guess. Momentum these things have are pretty big sometimes. Well, check out my YouTube videos. They're the streams. I just copy them over there every night. I'm done. And you can ask questions there too. I'll do what I can to answer them. But of course, coming to the stream is the best way to get good answers. It's called Long Reach. It's the mod Long Reach. Go to that link for Long Reach. It's the second to the bottom. I'm going to bed, guys. Thanks for watching. It's 4:30. I'm going to bed. I'll get these up on YouTube. From tonight. You're welcome. Well, everybody, thanks again for watching. I'm Dune. And I'm out. Have a good time with more Factorio. Laters.